Greetings, everyone. I don't know if I'm supposed to turn my camera on or not. I'm not really able to on my side, but welcome. I will do my 5 minutes here, and hopefully that's helpful. Please let me know in chat that you are hearing me okay. Folks, greeting everyone from Charlotte, North Carolina. Bob Mosher here, CEO of a company called APPLY Synergies. My goodness, it is a challenging time for all of us, and I want you to start by letting you know that my thoughts and prayers are with all of you. Be safe, be well. And I feel for all you're going through, both personally and frankly, professionally. It's a challenging time, like none other, clearly, in our world, and then, of course, in our profession. So I want to sort of start out with challenging us a bit on the L&D side. That's my specialty. And I love this quote, friends, from Dennis Pombrandt. And why I like it is because, as terrible as this is, and I do not mean by any means to downplay that, at the same time, I think we sit at a remarkable moment as L&D and HR professionals. Disruption makes things new again. And what might not have been possible suddenly is. This is a remarkable quote. It's on my, I have it on my laptop. I have it on my screen, posted as a postie, because it's something I wake up every day and try to level set with. I don't know about other people on this call. I've been at this for 35 years. L&D is not, how do I say it? The most flexible industry, if I may say that. Change is hard. And also for our learners, because they struggle with new ways of learning, to be honest. And so this is really a remarkable time, friends, because in no other time that I can think of, our learners are sitting at a very receptive moment in their learning. 5 moments of need. We have always addressed learners through these 5 moments. This is research from a dear friend of mine, Dr. Conrad Gottfredson, here in the States. And what I want to talk about today is a fundamental shift in mindset that I think we have to do and can do now to serve our learners in the bizarre world they live in today. We have always historically been set on this idea of what we call new and more. Learners want to learn things new. They want to learn they want to learn more things. These are the 5 moments of need that every learner goes through. We have historically addressed those with training assets, e-learning, virtual instruction, classroom. Terrific. Those worlds are struggling right now, particularly obviously residential, face-to-face training and others. Learners in the workflow are trying to apply. That is the whole world they live in, and they deal with change and solve as it hits them. This is addressed with a world we have to get better at, friends, called performance support. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. Historically, it has been our weakest muscle. When I've looked at toolkits across the world, it is the one that is by far the least served when it comes to traditional training approaches. Well, friends, guess what? This is the world we live in today. We are all in the workflow. Workers are home. No one's at work. They are dealing with the ins and outs of life, not just work, and they are struggling every single day to apply. Every single day is apply, and more importantly, notice the change, solve, daily occurrence, right? New and more, candidly, maybe not so much yet as we settle into this new normal. So friends, my challenge to you as L&D professionals is we have to start designing for apply first, a very different shift in our focus. We historically design for new and more first. We build training assets, learning assets, and then if we have time, we make job aids. I would argue in the world we live in today and the demands of our learners and the needs they're trying to meet, we have to design for apply first, which will involve, see this last sentence, new methods and new technologies. So let me challenge you with a couple of things to look at differently, and then my part will be done. 5 things I want to challenge you with, friends, and this is not a time for more training, to be honest, right? This is, if it was ever a time for more training, to be candid, to serve our learners best. Perform workflow analysis around the new normal. We keep hearing new normal, a little bit of a buzzword, but it is what we are settling into and will emerge into. We have to understand what the new workflows are. Not task analysis, friends. I know a lot of you know that word. I'm talking about workflow analysis. What do people perform in the workflow every day? And look at number 2, which ones are the most critical? Critical skills analysis. We have to triage the world our learners are living in today. This is not a world of too much information. It is a world of curating and filtering information that's most essential. We have to understand what is critical to get their attention with and serve them with, and notice what is not important or as important in this new normal that we're addressing. Third, we have to understand the learning assets that are available in which to serve those. And here's the irony, folks, of number 3. Many of the learning assets you'll find when you do this digging, you don't own or you don't create. There are millions of learning assets being created in the hour that I'm talking to you today. Because learners are surviving in the workflow, making remarkable assets that support and help them survive. Fourth, boy, I know I have new in quotes. This has been around since 1991, candidly. But folks, you have to figure out how to use electronic performance support systems and embed them in the workflow to support people while they are working. This technology has been around for over 25 years. I don't know many companies that have one. This is the new tip of the sword, friends. It enables in the workflow assets, both learning and support, to be available at the fingertips at the moment of need based on context when learners need them. And last, number 5, folks, the classroom is never going to be the same again. Look what we're doing today. This is my 21st webinar I've been on in less than 18 days. 21st, with thousands of you across the world. That never happened before. So the classroom, residential instruction, will never be the same. Should it ever be the same? I'm excited for what it will become. But if that's your quill in your toolkit here, folks, you're gonna struggle, and it's gonna be a challenge. So lastly, I'll end the quote. Disruption, right? But look, change is difficult. It's hard, and people avoid it when they can. But change inevitably happens when the consequence of standing still looks worse than the consequence of taking a chance on change. Guess what, folks? It's time for us all to change. Standing still, being the same L&D we were before this, is not an option. Hope that was helpful.